So earlier this year, I was in Serbia, on the Serbian border between Serbia and Hungary, this notorious border where the fence was built when the immigration crisis happened. And I had a conversation there with a Calvinist pastor who made a very interesting remark that I've thought about quite a bit after that. It was about the immigration crisis in Europe and also the secularization of Europe. The remark was more or less that when immigrants go to Europe today from the Middle East or Africa or wherever, spiritually they move into a void because of the secularization and so forth. So the concern is there's not much for them to assimilate with, because a lot of the Christian tradition of the West and of Europe has been eroded to such an extent that if you immigrate there, it's not something that you take up. But a void by nature is something that has to be filled. And so this void is then filled with other things. And these could be secular ideas, but it could also then be other religions. It could be Islam. And we see it very practically with churches being converted into mosques. But not just that, also other ideologies that are sort of taking the place of religion and even science in some cases, presented as something that has to be placed instead of religion. How do you see that?
I think that's a very perceptive observation. And, that just underscores the point that, secularization in a way is itself, it doesn't represent the West as it does. And so in the mind of Islam and so forth, thinks and also I know some political philosophers that are very interested in the Eastern tradition of the church and how that has informed politics. And they tend to identify the secularism with the West. And I think it's absolutely crucial to say that secularism, as you've described it, is itself an abandonment of the Western tradition. And in that sense, it's, as you described so beautifully there, it's actually going to create all sorts of problems because, as you say, we can't get rid of religion and tradition and faith and so forth. We're just going to create these substitutes for them in ways that they don't actually genuinely fulfill the role that they are meant to have, and end up then sort of multiplying problems. The very proposed solution is a form of the problem, kind of reinforcement of the problem.